What's up, buddy? How you doing? Are you a gamer? I think we got some gamers in the audience. It's been interesting what's going on with video games because we've kind of reached a point where it feels like nobody knows what to do. We're getting a lot of remakes. We're getting a lot of remasters. Video gaming can't really, it used to evolve. When you went from the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation 1, new stuff happened. There were new graphics. There was new types of games. Now, we can't make the graphics that much better. We're still using the same old controllers. We thought we were going to have virtual reality. Didn't happen. So we're just kind of making the same shit over and over. This game is Horizon Zero Dawn. It's one of these games I describe as the same shit over and over. You've played it before. You run around an open world, you go on little adventures, and you pick up diamonds and triangles everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, Final Fantasy has I've been playing Final Fantasy, it's got the same shit. Everywhere you go, there's a fucking diamond sticking out of the ground. You gotta pick up the diamond, find the triangle, attack the circle, grab the triangle. Every video game's the exact same. Which is why it was interesting to me to find out that Sony is suing. Sony is suing somebody for ripping off this. And I went, well, how do you even rip off? Isn't this every video game now? Look, you go, you press triangle, you get the little dingles, you have a crafting menu, you make a new weapon, you fight a monster on the overworld. This is every video game, right? Well, apparently not. Apparently this new game, Light of Matriam, terrible fucking name, made by Chinese people, is the same game. Let's take 2 seconds to look at this. Already, I can say the graphics aren't as good because this is like a cheap PC game. It's meant to run on anything, whereas the Horizon Zero Dawn can only... This is the same thing? How is this the same? What do you mean? I mean, there's a lady, look, there's a lady running around a techno future fighting robots. But do you own that? This looks cool, actually. I kind of want to play this now. All right, so we got Horizon Zero Dawn fighting robots. We got Light of Mochiron fighting robots. Let's find out how on earth there's a lawsuit. The gamer says, if you're gonna rip off Horizon, why would you give your protagonist the same hair? Look, lady with red hair. It's kind of it's a trope. I'm thinking of that, remember Ygritte or whatever from Game of Thrones? Wilderness girl with long red hair. They don't fucking own that. Give her whatever hair. You can give her the same fucking hair. Does she even have red hair? I can't even tell. All right. Last year, excuse me, a Tencent game called Light of Motoram. Terrible name. Went viral for being an obvious and unapologetic ripoff of Sony's Horizon Zero Dawn. This title's ripping off Horizon Zero Dawn so blatantly I can't believe it has a Steam page. And hilariously, that quote was included in Sony's newly filed lawsuit against Tencent. For those of you guys who don't know, Tencent is the Chinese company that keeps buying up video game studios and I guess making clone games. Light of Matriam blatantly copies Horizon. Again, okay, so I'm looking at this. I can say it was inspired by Horizon. Yeah, you got wilderness people fighting animal robots. But I hate to say it, that's not really a concept you can copyright or anything. It would have to be like copywriting specific factions or tribes or names or plot points. Just, there's robots that look like... Hey, I hate to tell you, remember when Transformers had Beast Wars? Those were animal robots as well. Okay, there's no question Light of Matriam's a Horizon clone, which is not illegal. But Sony went into great detail about what they stole. Now, again, maybe there's a smoking gun. Maybe there's something they very clearly copied. I haven't seen it yet. Sony says Tencent copied Horizon's promotional material, copying identical story and gameplay themes. The themes don't matter. Look at the movie Waterworld. It's just Mad Max set on the water. And it doesn't even need to be set on the water. You can just make a Mad Max if you want. If you want to make a movie about a guy in the desert trying to get oil, that concept is not copyrightable. Cultural character elements, art style, landscapes, architectural art elements, color palettes, fonts, and symbols. They use the same font. Okay. Lighting and points of view are also highly similar. All right. They tried to steer clear of trademark infringement by not putting an animified alloy in the game, but did include a redheaded woman in basically the same outfit. This bitch has a bunch of different outfits, I thought. I think she looks different every time I see her. Does Alloy have a specific outfit she wears? Hold on. Alloy Zero Dawn. I thought she changes costumes from game to game. She starts off with this, but then she gets like, look, she gets like cyber armor and shit. So how can you say she doesn't even look the same consistently? Okay. See, here's why I find this stuff interesting is like people who don't really understand the law, like this journalist, they'll write an article and they go, oh, yep, it's a ripoff. They're in trouble. But here's the thing is a lot of these guys don't realize like this stuff is not copyrightable. Okay. It's game concepts. If I want to make a game about an Italian plumber who hits blocks with his head, that might be novel enough to stop me if coins start popping out of it and he's got a princess. Okay. Even then, you'd probably be covered by parody. But just a lady in the future fighting animal robots, that's not unique enough to copyright. It's worth noting that Tencent hired a composer from Horizon Forbidden West to replicate the unique sound for Light of Matra. Yeah, so they like your game and they want to make a better version. If I see Star Wars and I go, wow, Star Wars is really cool. I want to make a sci-fi movie about guys fighting with laser swords. And I'm going to get the guy who did the music for Star Wars. You can't sue me and go, oh, well, he's ripping off Star Wars. No shit, I'm ripping off Star Wars. You're allowed to rip stuff off. Unless you steal something that is like 100% a unique and original idea that no one else has ever had. Tencent had pitched to Sony to develop its own Horizon game. Sony rejected the idea and considered the matter closed. Okay. So they said, fine, fuck it. Tencent tried again to license Horizon IP and was rebuffed. Okay. So you had the chance to work with them. You said no, and they said, okay, well, we'll just make it a fucking game about a lady who fights robots. All right, here, maybe this guy's about to make sense. Hear me out. Should rip-offs be allowed? Yes, 100%. I'm no copyright lawyer. No shit. It's not just Horizon clone. The website says it has survival elements, crafting, pet taming, cross-platform co-op gameplay. It's the same thing that's going on with Palworld right now. Okay? Is that everybody goes, well, Palworld's ripping off Pokemon. Palworld looks like Pokemon. And first of all, I hate the guys who go, we got to protect Pokemon. Pokemon has had a near monopoly on this space for what, 30, 40 years? At this point, the kids who are growing up with this stuff, it's part of the foundational language of video games at this point. You can no longer be precious about, oh my god, monsters battling monsters. Guys, Pokemon's been around since 95. Yeah, there should be clones. There should be hundreds of clones. And you're going to tell me, well, you know, this electric thing, what, like what? What does this look like? Okay. I mean, yeah, I get that it's borrowing from the same kind of overall Pokemon design language, but Pokemon doesn't own that design language. That's like if the first guy who ever drew a superhero said, no one else is allowed to draw superheroes the way I draw superheroes. It's been 35 fucking years or what, 25, well, however long it's fucking been since Pokemon came out. You can't say this is like, you know, no one else can make stuff that looks like Pokemon. You don't get to influence a generation of artists and then freak out when the artists start drawing shit the way you draw your shit, okay? You influence the kids to make them want to draw Pokemon, and now they're drawing their own Pokemon. It's not a problem. Healthy marketplace competition. So here's what I'm going to say. Look, I don't even, I didn't love the Horizon Dawn. I thought it was fine, but I'm looking at this and I go, what are they copying? Is it because, you know what it is? You know what they're mad about? I'll tell you what they're mad about. It's the tiny hints of teal and orange on the costume. Because if we look at Alloy, it's a bunch of teal and orange as the color scheme. And again, somebody played Horizon Zero Dawn and they said, hey, you know what looks really cool? Is this kind of white, what do you call it, cyber armor with teal and orange accents. And so they put teal and orange accents on the lady's armor. Well, Sony, I hate to tell you this. You don't own teal, you don't own orange. You don't own color schemes, you don't own robots, you definitely don't own animal robots. People are allowed to, and you know what, here's the thing. The market's allowed to decide. Look, you don't have this, you don't have a little Pokemon crafting system. The market can decide and they can say, well, look at any genre. Look at superheroes. For the longest time, everybody could make their own version of Superman. There was a million superhero comics that came out in the 40s. Okay? And 99.9% of those characters failed, and the ones that were good survived the test of time. So if you're worried about this Worry more about just making a great game. Who cares if there's 2 different games about ladies? And I don't even know if you're playing as a lady. This looks like a guy. So it's 2 different games about being in the future. There's been an apocalypse. Now you got to fight animal robots. So just make yours really good. There's a million World War II shooters. There's a million side-scrolling platformers. There's a million fantasy RPGs. Okay, you don't own any of this, Sony. I don't understand this lawsuit at all. But guys, let me know in the comments if you agree. Am I off base here? Nothing here looks nothing here looks like it's copyrightable. Oh my god, why doesn't she look like this in the fucking game? Also, Sony, we told you, if you just made the chick a little hotter, let's be clear. How come her tits never pop out in the game? This is what you need to focus on, Sony. Stop worrying about Chinese people making your game, but putting sexy anime ladies in it. Just have her tits pop out a couple times, like 2 or 3 times in the game. You'll sell plenty of copies. You'll have nothing to worry about. And that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.